G'day, welcome back. Could you relate? I had a bit of a laugh when I looked back at it actually. So, welcome back. Did you get something done this week? I hope you did. Thanks for the feedback on the last video we did on all the changes. We're creeping up to 1,000 subscribers. It's quite amazing, and I thank every one of you for subscribing. It's a bit of a privilege really. So, look, the content we're going to do this week is based on getting your Mojo back, and I just wanted to touch on the video you're about to see. I did 1st of February. I recorded on the 1st of February. Sometimes I record parts of the videos when they come to mind, or when I sort of feel the mood, or just when that topic comes into my head. And I just noticed just recently there's a number of us talking about it, which really got me intrigued, that either we're all feeling that ourselves and talking about it, or there is just that moment in the car scene where it's difficult. And I just wanted to acknowledge that and say that, yeah, it's just something I noticed. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get into it. Look, I was going to share a couple of things this week just on how to get your mojo back. If you're stuck in your project, I completely understand. It's not a very difficult thing to do. It seems to creep up on you. Look, I wanted to just give me just stick with me for a second. I wonder if your garage or your shed looks like a place where you can only just make out your car. Does yours look like that? I mean, you wouldn't be on your own. Can you imagine a workshop with the roller door, and you lift the roller door up, and in there somewhere is your car. It's covered with a cover. It's more than likely got the Christmas tree on top of it, or a couple of boxes, or blankets, or a number of things that shouldn't be there. They've just crept on top, and even at the front of the car, you've got the bookcase, or your daughter's bookcase that's broken, or the bike that's got a flat tire, the chains off it, and at the front of the garage is the mower. It's got something wrong with it. The pull's broken, or something like that. I wonder if you can relate. Is that your garage? I mean, it could be. It could be mine as well. It could be a number of us who have just lost the ability to get back into it. And look, it's very normal. I was listening to someone the other day talk about how a very high percentage of projects get to the pulled apart part, and they never actually make it back together, which is sad on a number of fronts. I mean, sad one that you've lost the ability to do it. It could be from a number of reasons, whether it's health or family or just time. There's also a bit of a loss for the vehicle too, because I would assume a lot of those vehicles never really make it back. I would assume a high percentage of them never make it back until maybe they're passed on again, and that's a real shame, to be honest. So, look, I wanted to encourage you on how you get back from there. It's a long way back, really, to be honest. So, and here's a novel thought. That picture I just described with the car, and the Christmas tree on top, and everything in front of it, the mower in front of it. I wondered whether I could encourage you to start with the mower. Now that might seem like a stupid thing, but you might just find that if you're able to whatever needs doing to the mower, get it done. If you can't do it yourself, get someone to help you. If it's something you can't work out, why don't you just start with the obvious? Start with the first thing, and who knows, you might just realise that once you get one thing done, you might be able to tackle the next thing, whether that's the pushy, get the bike fixed. I know that's a little bit out there, but you'd be surprised that what just finishing something or completing something will do. It's actually quite a rewarding thing to finish something and move on. And I've got to say that is very much a bit of a thing that I have found over my journey of cars as well. Would you believe it can happen even after you've got them painted? So you've gone to all that trouble, all the rust panels are done. You've actually spent probably the biggest part of your project's budget on the paint. And I've heard of guys that have got cars back from the painter and still can't get the motivation to put it back together, because it's quite daunting actually. You've just spent all this money. The last thing you want to do is start damaging it. But I tell you what, in that circumstances too, I have found, and I've been there, just grabbing a couple of things and putting them on the car can be the start of something. Right, so I want to show you something. A couple of other tips I wanted to show you today. I'm going to grab the phone and I'll show you. Right, so if you've pulled your car apart or in the process of pulling your car apart, bag everything. And I mean everything. Grab a whole heap of different size lunch bags, the big ones as well, and bag it. So when you pull something off, don't chuck it on the bench. You make sure that you bag it and use a texture and write on every bag. I put all the bolts and screws in the same place, and I'll tell you why in a second. All the bigger stuff, I still bag it and put it in different spots. It's a bit like these bags. I'll bag, see there, the rear spring, bump stops, some more stuff here. I find once you've pulled that stuff off and put it in a box, and if you're like me doing stuff at home, you will not see this stuff for another 2 years. And trust me, when you come back to it, it is very difficult to identify where they go, and especially when it comes to the bolts and nuts. That can be really tricky. Right, so another tip. Why I'm putting all my bolts in the same spot is because I like to get this stuff CAD plated early. It doesn't cost a lot. It's a really good, cheap step in your restoration. I take all these bolts, I pull them out, and then I will take a picture of each bag so I can see it, and the bolts and the nuts out on the bench, and take a photo. And that gives me a reference when I get all my plating back of what on earth these bolts and where they go. Now, here is my stash of bolts. I quite often, when I'm pulling a car apart, and I find bolts that I've got left over, I'll go through these and find where they are in here, which I've already got plated, some of them, and I'll throw the dirty ones in here as well, just so I know where they go. So they're the dash bolts that hold the frame of the dash. I'll throw them in here just so I know where they go, and I also have an idea of how many I've got left until I need to get some more CAD plating done. So, from nuts, bolts, springs, lockdown pin springs, clamps, radiator hose, clamps, all that stuff is really good to have sorted just before you start putting things together. Now, if you're in that situation where you have got your car back from the painters, there is nothing more satisfying than doing this. Going over to your parts that you've already got plated. Let's say we go with your bonnet latch, right? Grab that, come in here, grab 2 bolts that you've already got plated. And let me tell you, there is nothing more satisfying than putting that and that under a beautifully painted bonnet and having a look at it. I just think that is the great place to start. And it's another good place to start is putting in your indicator lens in that stone tray. Another good suggestion is to put in your rear tail light. Great opportunity at the moment. Chris has got the XB sedan tail lights remanufactured, so nothing better than grabbing a brand new lens, throwing in a light housing and just throwing that into the rear corner of your car. They are often just the spark that's needed to get going on something. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that. Nuts and bolts, get them CAD plated. It's not all that expensive, and they tend to give you a bit of a motivation when you see them actually unpacked and bag everything. Okay, so that's the CAD plating things. A couple more things I want to talk about. I know it's a little wordy, but I'm not sure how you're meant to do it practically. So 3 things I want to chat to you about that just come to mind. Vision. I've, over the journey, been big on seeing what it looks like at the end. For me, I spend a fair bit of time sitting on a chair looking at the project. I even sort of think through how I'm going to do some of it, which might be a bit strange, but I visualize some of that stuff, and that helps me get through the different stages. Now, I know not everyone works like that. Some people just dive straight in and get into it, but I like to see how I'm going to do it, and that requires vision. So especially with the white car, there's a good example. There wasn't a lot of white cars around without the black bonnet, so mine was a white bonnet and option 52s. There wasn't many of those cars that I could find, and I wanted to sort of visualize the car, so I searched high and low for cars that looked very similar or the same, and I found them, and they helped me when I'd lose a little bit of focus, is to look at those and say, oh yeah, that's what it's going to look like. And the same with this Blue U. There's not many of them around to find, but again, I think that's important to have vision. Now, the other thing also that I found really helpful over the time is Facebook. I don't use Facebook for anything else other than joining the group. So when it comes to this one, I'm a member of, or a part of, the group XA, XB, XC Utes on Facebook. Now, there's been 2 or 3 guys on there that I've found who have been in front of me in their projects and just gobbled up their content. Russell White's been one, and Jared Smith in New Zealand was another one, and Howard's another one. So he's also got great practical how to do videos, which I'd encourage you to look at, because that leads me on to my second point: skill. Is there a skill that you're missing? Yes, me, lots of them. I certainly don't have them all, but is there something that's really practical you could go do? For me, it was the TIG welding course. I could weld with the MIG weld. I've done all that all my life, but I wasn't particularly happy with the way my welds were looking on the thinner stuff, so just went and did a course on a TIG welder. Now, they're not that expensive to go do. They're usually a skill for life. Mine were after work, which helped, and they were excellent. The learning environment was great. You had your own booth. you were doing it with other like-minded guys. I found it really good, and then come home and put it straight into practice. Obviously I had to go buy a TIG. I did that after the course to make sure that I was investing into the right thing and I was going to use it. I wonder whether there's something like that you're missing, and it doesn't need to be welding. It could be something completely different. But if you're doing work like I'm doing here, you might need to know how to weld. It was helpful for me. Third thing was your environment. I know this is probably a little bit more difficult, but is where you're working, can you get to it night and day, in the heat and the cold? Now, again, I know not everyone's going to be able to do this, but early, I was fortunate enough to be able to get a reverse cycle air conditioner put in. Now, I know it's an expense, but for the $2 or $3 grand it costs to put it in your overall budget, it's probably one of the smaller ones, and it makes an enormous difference. Coming in here on look, today it's 36 degrees or 34 degrees. I've got it set at 23 degrees, and it's really nice to come into. Same with winter. If it's freezing in here, it's a little hard to work. So I know I'm being a bit soft, showing my age a little. I think it makes a big difference. Little tips, I hope they help. A lot of words in this. How about we go do something? Righto. Okay, let's get this tail shaft in. I'll sit you up here and we'll get into it. I know, I've run into a snag. Of course, I ordered the uni clamps, and guess what I got? Yeah, I got the wrong ones. I believe I need the ones that are just a little C-section that the bolts screw into the casting, and I've got the sort of like the old 9-inch diff ones. So I'm going to have to find a set of those somewhere. So I suppose onto Marketplace and see if I can't hunt some down. As you can see, I was mucking around in here trying to get the wasp nests out of the holes, and saw the threads, and I'm going, I think I've got the wrong ones. But anyway, we will live for another day, I suppose. That's not going to work. So righto, we better hunt someone down. Okay, so while we're wondering what we're going to do with those uni clamps, I'm going to whack this brake line in from the red ute. If you remember, she's been cut off here, so we'll remove that and whack it in. Okay, one out, one in. So I've just put the whole shooting match on there, and yeah, it's all back in, which is nice and complete. So we'll keep working on the handbrake next, I reckon. Righto. So I'm guessing no one else has this trouble. You know, the handbrake cable that was sitting just here. Yeah, where the heck has it gone? Just my own problems. Yeah, lost is found. Good. Still under the ute, wasn't it? The red ute. Anyway, we'll get to it. Put it in. Righto, we're not far off it. So, handbrake connected and all reinstated. I'll do that up when I work out what the handbrake feels like. Yeah, it's got to go. Oh, I've probably got to go back up here somewhere where that nut is. So anyway, brakes are in. Just got to give them a bleed. Yes, and of course, all this is only just to get it going and give it a run. Obviously, they all need going through and checking, but for what we want to do in terms of giving it a drive, this will suffice, and see if we can't get some oil, brake fluid out this, and who knows. I fully expect them to be completely and utterly seized, the slow cylinders, the wheel cylinders, but we'll work that out as we go. Righto. Don't you love spares, you beauty? Yeah, so we've just thought I'd show you the difference of the two different uni clamps. They were the ones that the 9-inch diff uses, and these were the ones the Borgwana ones use. So, which are just that bit of flat steel that I was trying to explain earlier. But anyway, we'll thank goodness for spares. We'll get on and put that on. Okay, let's get this thing on. I was just thinking through what I was talking about earlier, and there was another thing someone I heard the other day say was never have any more than one project on at a time, and I think that is pretty good advice. Only thing is that I don't think I've ever had only one project going at a time, and you know, here's a really good example. I've got a really good ute in the shed next door, and I'm stuffing around with this one. So I think sometimes you know, having a couple of things, or maybe another project or some other thing that you're doing alongside your project can always help too, because there is times there that you know, that you can get a little bit weary and tired of what you're doing. So yeah, the one project at a time theory is good, I think, and maybe yeah, that probably also relies on what space you've got as well too. You know, even me working in here, I'm out here at night time now, because this is a shared space with everyone else. So in the middle of the day, this is a pretty busy place. The next door is full of gear and tools and welding. So yeah, don't think for a second that that this is a perfect example of getting projects done. Righto, I'll get that in here. She goes. Anyway, you probably don't want to watch me do this. I'll come back to you in a second. Done. So all installed. So I've got a wheel that turns. It's a bonus. Shockers all mounted back up. But yeah, all done, which is good. So we'll might leave the video there, and if you're wondering when I'm going to get back onto that other ute. We're going to just, the goal is to get this ute driving and running and stopping, and then I'll work out what we're going to do with it then. But then once we've got that done, we're going to move back into that blue ute. So if you're keen to see a bit more action on the one that's in the shed, all pulled apart, we're going to tackle it in a couple of months' time. So when things quieten down here at work, and I can spend a fair bit more time on it. So that's the plan. Anyway, let's wrap up. Well, we got a couple of things done, which is good. Righto. So I hope you find that of interest and it's useful for you guys if you're stuck a bit. Yeah, I hope it helps. So next video, we're going to go visit Mitch. Now you might remember I said maybe 2 videos ago that we dropped off some looms to Mitch. So I'm hoping to hit him up for a video, fingers crossed, and we'll have a little look at what he does there. It's quite unique. So tune in a couple of weeks' time for that one. If you're enjoying the content, help us along by hitting the subscribe and the like button, and please comment. I love to hear what you're doing. So we'll catch you in a couple of weeks' time. See ya.